Well, I'll continue on the Republican theme really briefly. So Sam has been talking a lot about how this whole notion that there's this big argument between the serious business Republicans and the Tea Party Republicans, and the Wall Street boys and the money boys are going to sit down and they're going to start mounting non-crazy candidates in primaries, and there's a real fault line opening up in the Republican Party. Well, first of all, at least the people saying that are kind of implicitly acknowledging that there's no such thing as a moderate Republican left. Okay, like there's ultra right-wing Republicans who happen to not be absolutely insane and understand some basic principles of macro finance and are able to like shake Barack Obama's hand without thinking it will make them gay. Okay, there are those Republicans, and they're ultra conservative. And then there is Ted Cruz, Michelle Bachmann, Sarah Palin, just demented insanity. So at least we're acknowledging there's no such thing as moderates. Everything we're talking about here is ultra right wing. And you know what? Because they're all ultra right wing, there isn't really that big of a conflict here. And as Alec McGillis reports in the New Republic, he's talking about some new information on contributions from business groups to Tea Party candidates. And first, he makes this very important point. And actually, there's two kind of connected points. One was also raised by Michael Lind, who writes in Salon. Michael Lind said, all of these right-wing Republicans are pro-business, anti-workers' rights, anti-environment. And the difference in some cases being that with some of these Tea Party guys, they're more likely to represent like the interests more purely of somebody like the Koch brothers or regional business magnates or people like that. So it's still business and corporate interests that might not be as exclusively Wall Street, although all of them take money from Wall Street as well and want to get rid of any remnant of financial regulations. But some of the dividing line with doing something like the debt ceiling is just the difference of how much a corporate special interest is going to be affected by a given policy. In no cases is this actually a rejection of corporate special interest. And McGillis points out in the New Republic, he says, this is to quote McGillis, "Ever since the Tea Party Republicans arrived on the scene in Washington, I've cast a wary eye at the notion of them as grassroots insurgents disconnected from the party's big business and Wall Street base. Heck, when I went looking for a Tea Party Tribune, Congressman Tom Graves of Georgia, the night of the August 11th vote to resolve that summer's debt ceiling showdown, I found him at a fundraiser in AT&T's box at National Stadium." No surprise there. Now, and he goes on to quote a recent report that was revealed in today's in the Washington Post with the help of the Center for Responsive Politics, and they talk about some new campaign contributions given to Tea Party leaders and Republican candidates. The American Bankers Association gave more money over the last two election cycles to GOP lawmakers who in effect voted to allow the United States to default on its debt rather than those who voted against that scenario. The ABA contributed $2.2 million to lawmakers who ultimately ignored the group's warnings, second only to the Club for Growth and just ahead of Koch Industries, both of which are leading sources of funds for conservative candidates. At financial services firms, including hedge funds and major banks, contributions totaled more than $26 million over the last two cycles to Republican lawmakers who voted against the deal to reopen the government. And, of course, let's get specifically to Ted Cruz. Senator Ted Cruz, whose 21-hour floor speech, blah, 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 helped spark the shutdown. I mean, I can't.
That's basically what he said.
That's exactly, well, with more movie references. Blah, 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 Field of Dreams.
And Dr. Seuss.
Blah, 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 Dr. Seuss. Blah, blah, blah.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Green Eggs and Ham. He took 786,157 from financial services companies. More than the amount he received from the Club of Growth. And, of course, his wife works at Goldman Sachs, and his health plan comes through Goldman Sachs. And, you know, the kind of closing point here, these numbers won't come as a surprise to any listeners of the show, but the point is, too, is that these guys campaigned on this when they were getting all these monies from these supposedly responsible actors. They campaigned, we're going to hold the government hostage. We're going to wage a radical anti-constitutional effort to repeal established law. That's what they campaigned on. And the reason that hedge funds and Wall Street and all these other special interests keep delivering money, because at the end of the day, what are they most concerned about? Getting rid of government regulation on everything and allowing themselves to strip away the last tiny remnants of accountability that is still held over them. They want that all gone. The Tea Party shares the same agenda, and fundamentally it's the same thing. It's the 0.0001% party, and everything is just a variation of craziness and varying levels of, well, I don't hate gay people, I don't really mind abortion, but fundamentally don't touch my money, or better yet, don't disrupt my ability to take your money, which is much more accurately how to describe it, and other people who think that shaking hands with Barack Obama will make them gay. That's it. There's no other distinction besides that. See.
Can we get an Obama impression with that one?
Look, it's come to my attention that some members of the Republican caucus think that shaking hands with them, that if I shake hands with them, will make them bisexual. Look.
It's true.
This is true.
I'm a very good-looking man.
I'm a good-looking man. And you will have a taste, but it's more specific than that. You will want to date me specifically. And I think that that's part of the reason that you're seeing such an intense backlash out of me personally. You look at Ted Cruz, and you know he wants it.